Welcome back to Free Your Compass. It's been a while since I've posted last. Look, to be honest, it's been a little bit of a struggle for me actually. Haven't actually been particularly up or down as such. Just my motivation. It's been rather difficult to maintain. Trying to get back on to actually talk about something as well that's kind of relevant. Going back through the old self-doubt scenario where it's like, oh well, I'm too worried that I'm going to say something that's like irrelevant and nobody's interested and all the rest of it, and so it's just stopping me from acting. So ultimately thought I needed to really take a bit of my own advice and get back to the idea of you need to actually take action. So it's not a matter of whether or not I actually get it right. It's not a matter of whether it's fantastic or amazing or anything else. It's a matter that I actually do something. So part and parcel for my own benefit, as well as anybody who is actually listening, and hopefully getting some inspiration from me, so you can see that, like you, I'm struggling as well. And when it comes down to it, really, sometimes you just got to just do something. And right now, that's what I'm doing. So one of the things that I actually like to talk about, bring up today, though, so that I've actually got something to talk about rather than waffle. I was having a chat with a friend recently, and we're talking about, I'm in my mid-40s now, and how regularly people at this age group will tend to look back and go, oh my God, look at the amount of time that I've wasted in my life. Yeah, and I mean, quite seriously, I've wasted a lot of time. I mean, a lot of money's been wasted, a lot of opportunities have been wasted. I look back and I can point out at least 5 or 6 times that if I'd made a slightly different choice, I would be in a much better position, financially, and at least, if nothing else. And, then you pointed out it's not so much about that. He said it was actually a really interesting way of looking at it. So if you think about life and what the life of everyone you know and know of is in the grand scheme, of history, how insignificant it ultimately is. In some ways it's quite depressing to look at, but if you look at it the right way, it's actually a little bit more liberating. So you consider that in 300 years from now, which really isn't that long in the grand scheme of history, all those really wealthy people that you look up to and your celebrities, nobody's going to know who they are. They're, a couple of them potentially. They'll be, oh, so-and-so, they were a really great something or other. And, but almost every single one of them will be nothing more than a footnote. And even the ones that are famous enough to be remembered, the majority of people aren't actually going to have a clue who they are anyway. So, they'll basically be a name that sounds vaguely familiar, but beyond that, it'll be utterly irrelevant and insignificant. And then 1,000 years from now, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years from now, nobody's going to have a clue about any of them. And any of them that are remembered are not going to be remembered correctly. It'll all be made up. So if you think that's the people who are super successful, the ones that are super rich, that have made all the right choices, then every single one of us normal people are basically in the same boat. In the grand scheme, as far as the universe is concerned, every single one of us is irrelevant. It's not of any consequence in the grand scheme of ultimate history. So our beating ourselves up and worrying about all of those factors it's wasted energy to a large degree. We tend to get ourselves overly worried about the mark that we'll leave, when realistically that mark is not even a ripple in an ocean, let alone a pond. So pointed out that really, the standard thing that is pointed out to a lot of people and that we keep on saying is like, focus on the good things, focus on the positives. And yeah, that's become such a cliched statement. But if you look at it in its truest sense, it's actually a much nicer way to live, albeit, look, let's be fair, we're not wired that way, so it can be very difficult for us. But if you spend more time looking at the good things in your life than you do at the negative things in your life, you won't feel as bad about it. If you think about the fact that you're living in a location that has nice trees, for example, you've got a good view, or birds come and sing near you. You've got food on your plate every day, or just these are positive things. We tend to take for granted, very much so, but it's positive. It's a good thing. They might not be gigantic things. You might not have the financial security that says that you can go and do whatever the heck you like whenever you like, but to be fair, 99% of the population is in the same boat or worse. So enjoy the fact that you are capable of having a meal that you enjoy on occasion. Enjoy the fact that you get to breathe fresh air occasionally. Enjoy the fact that there are things that you can do that others can't. Some others aren't fortunate enough. And those people who are less fortunate than you as well, they've got something that they can look at that you may take for granted as well, that they may be taking for granted. There's always something that is positive that you can look at. The difficult thing is that we are wired to focus on what we don't have, what we want, rather than actually focusing on what we do have. And that's where we get all those struggles with our anxieties, our depression, our what are we missing out on? That's why that's such an issue. Our society, the way that it is structured, is designed to feed that as well. So that makes it more challenging as well. So basically what I'm trying to say really is that, I totally get, and I'm stuck in that rut quite regularly myself, where I'm looking at all the things that I missed out on, and even recently, decisions that I've made or not made that, if I'd done just a little differently, it would have been so much better, But that's a trap, because those thoughts and those focuses serve no benefit other than if I can look at it from a different angle and go, okay, what can I learn so that next time I can potentially make a better decision? Sometimes it's just pure luck and pure happenstance and chance that you look back and you go, oh, well, damn, I made the right choice. But if I'd actually made the other one, it would have worked better. Damn. But other times it's like, well, I didn't make the right choice, or I second-guessed myself, or something like that. And then you can go, okay, maybe I need to stop second-guessing myself. Maybe I need to start trusting my gut a little more. Okay, cool. Fantastic. Lesson learned, move on. Interestingly enough, I think Jordan Belfort actually said it really well. We are not our mistakes. We are not the errors we have made. We are, however, the lessons that we have learned from them. Or rather, we can be the lessons that we learned from those mistakes. We can be the lessons that we have learned from the errors and the missteps. So rather than beating yourself up about having made a mistake, maybe we need to start looking at, how we can actually learn from the things that we've done. And then learn and put more focus into the things that we do have and the things that we have done right. This whole power of positive thinking and the law of attraction and all of that stuff that keeps on always being rehashed and restated in some fashion. that all really works from the facet that if you are thinking positively and you're focused on positive things, you're more receptive to the positive things. So when something happens, you're more likely to notice it as a positive thing, and thus you will act accordingly. Whereas if you're looking at it negatively, you're not going to notice it, so you won't get it. It's not that all of a sudden the universe changes and great things start happening to you. It's you become more in tune with it and more able to notice the good things and the opportunities as they appear. You're more ready to act on them. You're more ready to see them. You're more able to see them rather than completely blocking yourself to it. That's really the lesson that I'd like to try and put across today. As that's a lot of waffle in there as well, but hopefully you got something out of that. And I'm going to try and put a lot more focus in that itself myself. So other than that, quick recap for what I've actually been doing over this time. I've been wasting a lot of time puddling and mulling over what I'm not getting right, struggling with getting my mental energies right. I have been going to the gym reasonably regularly, which is good. I'm actually starting to see some muscle definition appear. Weight loss, not anything overly significant at this stage, but I'm seeing and noticing physical results on the muscle side of it from it. So that's good. Also, I have anybody who's interested and has actually listened this long, I'm started streaming a game on Twitch. So did that for the first time last night, and I'm going to try to make that regular so that I've got something to sort of occupy myself at an evening, because I tend to sort of mentally shut down a lot at night. So I'm a night owl, but the whole brain power thing, not so good. So I figured if I can, get that happening, that'll give me a bit of stress relief and, something fun to do. And hopefully, there's a lot of people watching other people play games. So I figure, why not? Let's give it a go. Tune in. It's also the same name for your compass. Other than that, look, thanks very much for listening, and I'll catch you next time. I'm really going to put an effort into making this more regular. Eventually I'll actually get it right. I've been doing this, a bit every year and a half now. So, eventually I'll make it nice and regular. But, fact is, and the most important thing, I haven't given up. And you too, remember, just don't give up. That's the important part. Being regular, all the other jazz, nowhere near as important as just don't give up. Just keep on trying, keep on plotting. Eventually, if you keep up with it, you keep on going, eventually you'll get there. Yeah. Other than that, keep on keeping on. Stay strong. And I'm proud of you. And thank you for listening. Check out my website as well. Let me know what you think. Put a comment in. Send me a message, please. For God's sake, I need some feedback. I've got ADD. I'm a performer, and I'm sick of talking to a microphone and a camera. It's quite painful. Other than that, thanks very much. Catch you next time.